Hey guys, welcome back again to the studio of notebooking and stuff like that. Today we're going to be talking a little bit of different preserving techniques. I know there's lots of questions out there. What can be preserved? What can't be preserved? So I would love if you comment below if I don't cover a certain question. If you could go ahead and ask me, that would be fabulous. I would love to be able to help you do that, because if you are growing your own garden and growing your own food, then preserving is definitely a way that needs to happen. Excuse me. Or you can get in abundance from a local friend, the farmer's market, stuff like that. So there's always ways to go ahead and, get the food, nice, healthy, real food into your kitchens, and then you need to kind of preserve it, right? Because some of the stuff kind of falls to the wayside. So I thought I'd just kind of go over a little bit about just the different techniques of preserving. So the one that most people think about is canning, which is I do a lot of, and I've been doing it for many years. There's two different types of canning processes. There is the water bath canning, and then there is the pressure canning. Water bath canning is simply putting food into a jar with a new lid, and you're putting it in and you're giving it a bubble boil bath, really, for a certain amount of temperature. And those foods are usually high in sugar or high in acid, like tomatoes and stuff like that. Because of that high acid or high sugar, it does not need to be super heated, which I'll cover in a second, that it'll be safe enough to eat for sure. So on the flip side of that is the pressure canning, and that is where it needs to be to get to a certain high temperature to be able to kill the botulism. And so vinegar-less foods, acidic less foods and less sugary foods need to be pressure canned, like corn. Corn takes a really long time in the pressure canner, but like other veggies as well. Beans, corn, carrots, different meats and stuff like that need to be in the pressure canner. Now, with that being said, things that are in your water bath can be pressure canned. However, things that are in your pressure canner cannot be water bath. Usually that one cannot go over to the other side, but the water bath can be in the pressure canner. So a lot of times I'm just running a pressure canner, because my pressure canner is an all-American canner, and it is very large, and it can hold 14 quarts at a time. So I'm like getting it done, right? So that's the difference between the water bath canner and the pressure canner. Lower heat, higher heat. Some things can go in the pressure canner or in the water bath, but everything can go in the pressure canner. So I really like that. So there's lots of different methods for water bath canning. Usually at the bottom there is a rack to kind of keep the jars off the bottom of the heat, right off the bottom of the thing. So make sure you just kind of get a canner that has that. But those are at the stores, all the big box stores, and they are simply just a nice round thing like this with a lid on it, and then a rack just to kind of keep them off the bottom. The pressure canner, however, needs to be it's a little more intense. Mine is very heavy. It's got locks and seals and all kinds of stuff. I really enjoy the all-American canner because it's safer. I have a Presto one as well that I used for years, and so if that's what you can afford this time, go ahead and use it. I have just decided to make an investment into an all-American one, so that I just know that it's safer. It's got all the seals. It's locked, and again, it does 14 quarts at a time, people. It's fabulous. So those are the two different types of canning methods there. And then a couple other methods of preserving is dehydrating, right? I mean, you can't really dehydrate, not a freeze dry. I'm just talking about dehydrating. So like the things I like to use my dehydrator for is actually mainly my herbs, but it makes really good jerky, and you can do fruit leather roll-ups and stuff like that. Mine is the Kosari food dehydrator, and I just really enjoy that one. It works really good. I have to actually this week go ahead and dehydrate garlic and onion to make my own garlic powder and onion powder, because it is February and it's time that they need to start getting used up. The other preservation technique is blanching and freezing. So there are certain vegetables that cannot be canned. They can't. They turn to complete disgusting mush, or it's too thick, and then the heat can't penetrate into the jar itself, and then there's questions on safety. So the way or the things that I like to do blanching and freezing is the broccoli and cauliflower and cabbage. So you simply just give it a quick heat bath in the water. You pull it out, cool it off. I put it on trays. I put it in my freezer, and then I take it out, and then I use the food saver to make it into different portion bags like that. Stick it in the freezer. It does take up room in your freezer, so there's that pro and con of like, well, okay, if I grow too much broccoli and I don't have a lot of freezer space, well, I'll try to eat it quicker then, I guess. But so that's what the nice thing about canning is that it's you know, it's shelf stable. It doesn't take up room except for wherever you put it in your pantry. But I really like blanching and freezing for those types of things, like green peppers, you know, peas. You can do corn too. I've done corn if you don't have enough to go ahead and can that. But you can can corn, but you cannot can like the peas and the peppers and the broccoli and the cauliflower and cabbage. And then if you were to can any of your squash or pumpkin or anything like that, you need to cut it up into specific size cubes. Because if you were to like puree it first, again, it's too dense for that heat to get into the middle while it's in the pressure canner. So you have to leave it at chunks just again to make it safer. So those are just that's like really quick, fast preserving talk. But so again, ask me questions. I will definitely answer. I do have a preserving workbook with some videos that you guys could have access to as well. And I'll put the link down below. But preserving is a great way just for food security, especially when you're able to either grow your own food or get some good food from some local farmers and stuff like that. So happy canning.